Hi, welcome to INNOVA. This is the INNOVA M28, and I'm here today to talk to you about the timing tool. So, for about 100 years, people would time sewing machines the same way. They would have to do it manually. They'd actually have to loosen some screws here, lower the needle bar down, and then adjust the hook point till it's at the exact position on the needle for what we call accurate timing, which allows the machine to pick up a stitch. Unfortunately, it's an eyeball thing. So you imagine getting up in here and trying to see the position of the hook. It's very difficult, but this is the way it's been done for hundreds of years. So some companies have made what they call timing tools, but they're not quite like this timing tool. This is the only one of its kind. It's patented by INNOVA. It's extremely unique. It's amazing. Everyone who owns an INNOVA should buy one for sure. And it takes all the guesswork out of timing and needle height position. Other timing tools on the market for other competitors' brands, they're not patented. They don't have this very special V-block. And what this V-block does, it allows you to actually critically set the hook to the exact position without any eyeball or guesswork. All the competitors' machines, they have a pin for needle height, and then you still have to manually move the hook and get it in the right spot and close it. And if you're not up close, the hook point won't be close enough to the needle and your machine will skip stitches or break thread. So the timing tool is an amazing, amazing device by ABM, developed for the INNOVA brand, and it's really fantastic. So my name's Neal. I'm the inventor of the INNOVA. I'm the inventor of the patented timing tool, and I'm here to demonstrate it for you today. So before you get started, you're going to want to take your thread off your machine. So I'll just pull that out of the needle there, kind of get it out of my way. And then there's a couple of different methods. One is you can rotate the head on the INNOVA, or two is you can just spin the foot around and get out of the way. For speed, I'm going to spin the foot around today rather than rotate the head. Those of you who know how to rotate your head or have watched other videos, you can easily see how to rotate the head. So first I'm going to remove the needle plate. It probably helps if I have my glasses on, which I'll do in a second because I'm practically blind now these days. Take my screws off and don't lose them. And this is just a flathead screwdriver for your needle plate. And probably before I did that, I would have turned the machine power off. Always a good idea when you're working on your machine for safety reasons. Raise my needle plate out of the way. There might be some dust and lint in there. I'll get rid of that. I don't have a garbage can, so it's going on the floor today. And then I will remove my bobbin case. Place that off to the side as well. And now I will turn my foot around and get it out of the way, since I'm not rotating the head. Okay, so now I've basically got everything I need in position for the next step. So the next step is to set my needle height. And the needle height you're trying to set is so that you get half of a needle eye above the basket of the hook and half below. And I'm going to do that with this needle height gauge bushing, which comes in the timing tool set. So should have a number 2 on it. That means it's the right size for this machine. And I'm going to remove these plugs on the faceplate so that I can access the screws inside the head for the presser bar and the needle bar. And I am going to see where it's set at. And I'm going to loosen the screw on the needle bar by getting the screw hole lined up with this hole on the faceplate, which is right there. And of course, if you have a channel lock, you can lock it. I don't think I have one on this machine, so I can't. So it's going to push away from me, unfortunately, but not a big deal. All right, so now I'm going to lower the needle bar down to bottom dead center. that's where we'll perform needle height settings. And you do that by turning your hand wheel until the needle bar is all the way down and it stops moving. There'll actually be a small point where there's dwell, where the hook can rotate and the needle bar is no longer moving. That moment of dwell is the bottom of the stroke of the needle bar, and that's where we're going to set our needle height. So release the hand wheel. You'll now be able to access the needle bar clamp screw through the front faceplate hole and loosen the set screw. Now your needle bar is loose. Take your number 2 steel needle height timing gauge bushing, put it where the bobbin case normally goes, all the way in, and then lower the needle bar with your fingers till it's resting on top of the bushing. After you've lowered the needle bar down to the needle bar bushing so that it's making contact, you go back in and tighten your needle bar set screw clamp. Once that's done, you go back to your hand wheel and raise your needle bar. Remove your needle bar height gauge bushing, and now we'll be moving on to the patented timing tool. So, step 1 will be to loosen your set screws on your hook, and you'll need a 3mm wrench for that. Once your set screws are loose, and you'll need your 3mm again. Might be better off with a regular hex key. After you've removed your presser finger, your position finger, you now need to lower your needle bar back down to bottom dead center, or the lowest point of stroke where there's dwell, where you can see the hook turns but the needle bar doesn't move. That's bottom dead center. And then you're going to remove your needle. So we have the machine back to bottom dead center. And now we're going to insert our timing tool with the spacer inwards on the needle bar and presser bar. We're going to hold it all the way up against the casting or bottom of the needle bar frame tightly and tighten the set screw. After that's complete, we're going to lower the bar slightly, swing out the spacer plate, and raise the bar up to timing position. After you've rotated out the timing spacer, you're going to want to rotate your hand, engage and rotate your hand wheel counterclockwise, raising the timing tool till it's touching on the bottom of the needle bar housing, until the hook point has fully engaged the V block, which brings the hook around to the correct position for the needle. Take your 3mm hex key and tighten the Allen screw on your hook. And your machine will be timed. Then you can rotate your hand wheel backwards to release the hook point from your timing tool, loosen your set screw, and remove your timing tool. You have one more set screw on your hook to tighten, so rotate the hook around, tighten the second screw, and your machine has been timed. Put your position finger back in. By rotating the basket up so that the notch on the basket is at the top at 12 o'clock. Jump on the position finger into this notch on the hook. And if you get it in too close, it'll actually pinch the thread as it tries to escape during the sewing process. So you want to make sure you have enough space. You want to get it set so that it's probably about like this. Slightly out so that it's holding the basket from rotating but not pinching the thread. Put your hex key back underneath. Tighten it. Or fight with it for a half hour. Sometimes you have to actually look what you're doing. There we go. And then from the top side, tighten your position finger. Now you can see there's space for the thread to pass by the position finger. Put your needle plate screws back in. Rotate your presser foot. Put your presser foot screw back in. It's not cooperating with me, but here it goes. Tighten your presser foot screw. Put your needle back, or replace your needle with a new one, because that's always a good idea. Make sure the thread groove on your needle is facing forward, and that it's inserted all the way up in your needle bar. For those of you who don't remember how to do that, there's a sight hole on the side of your needle bar over here, and you can see when the needle goes all the way up in. Tighten your needle retaining screw. And spin your hand wheel around, and you are timed and ready to sew again. So, we'll put our bobbin case back in. We'll place our rubber plugs back in our faceplate. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the INNOVA patented timing tool by ABM International. I'm Neal. The INNOVA is built to quilt. Come see us again soon.